What's up, folks? My name's Greg. Getting ready to go through my charcuterie cabinet here, weigh things up, see what's ready to come out. Let's take a look what's in there. Got a couple of capicolas here. That's a big fat pancetta. This is a Göteborg Swedish salami. A couple of prosciuttos, Culatella prosciuttos. In the back I got you can't really see it, it's kind of dark in there right now, a guanciale. The Charcuterie is probably going to have a Charcuterie video coming up real soon. This is a Polish salami. I am a little worried about that. I'll explain that in a video when I make it. So yeah, let's weigh this up, see what's ready to come out. And at the end of this video, I'll show you how I put this cabinet together. Got my notebook of projects here. Everything on this fat side is things that are completed. And this short side are the things I'm going to weigh up now. I keep notes for every project I do. That way I can just, I can repeat things exactly. I can improve them if I want. Most recent thing to go in there is this Polish salami with the recipe from the Polish government. I am a little bit curious how this will come out because it's not fermented, and it's the only not fermented salami I've ever seen. So I'm curious about it. This has been drying for a month, and it's close to its target weight. The way I determine its moisture content is by its weight. And the way I figure that out is I take its current weight, which in this case is 583. I divide that by its starting weight, which in this case is 823. So 70.708. So that's about 71%, or you can do -1. It's got about 29% moisture loss. So it's not there yet. This says it should go to 35%. I might take it to 40 because I like my salami a little more firm. Next is this Italian Charcuterie dry-cured sausage. Got a really good looking layer of the Penicillium nalgiavensis. So again, you take this current weight, 817, divide it by its starting weight, 1333 equals -1, 38.7%. This one says to dry it to 30 to 35%. To me, I'm going for between 35 and 40. I think I'll probably take it out. So there'll be a video about that coming up. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see that one. This is another really interesting one because it's a mortadella, but it's not an emulsified sausage. Every mortadella I've ever had has been emulsified, but this was, I'm following the recipe. That's what it said to do. Pretty excited to try this one, honestly. This one's probably ready to come out also. Again, this one said 35%. Probably a lot of things are ready to come out. I had a hectic end of the year, beginning of the year. I'm a little behind schedule. Next is this one. This is a Göteborg. I believe that's how it's pronounced. This is a Swedish smoked salami. And let's see where it's at. Again, probably ready to come out. Got really behind on things at the end of the year, beginning of the year. Yeah, this is ready. This is past its target. Yeah, 41, almost 42%. That's ready to come out. And the smaller one of those, 39.8. So yeah, that's, just around 40%. They're both ready. So again, subscribe if you want to see these videos. They'll be coming up shortly. Now I'm done with my salami and moving on to my salumi. This is a Calabrian copa, or Calabrian capicola, gabagool, whatever your name is. It's pork neck. So I'll do the same thing. Current weight divided by its starting weight equals -1. So we've lost just about 24% of the weight. Want to get to at least 35% with this. And this has been drying for 1 month and 1 week. Moving on to my other capicola. This one I call my fall flavor. Started this one at the same time as that last one. Yeah, about the same. 23.4. My guanciale, I'm going to guess this was about ready. Was not losing much weight last time. All right, this one here, 23.7% moisture loss, but this has only lost 3 grams in the last month and a week. So I'm going to take this one out. All right, this is a big pancetta here. That's a blocky pancetta. This one's been in there a long time. It's a super fat belly. This has been in there for almost 10 months now. I know most pancettas, they say, don't take nearly that long, but we're only at 22% moisture loss, slowing way down. Been losing about 18 grams a month. As long as it's losing weight, still losing just about 1% a month, I'm going to keep it in there. So another piece of that same belly. And this one's only lost about 18% of its weight. This one only lost 10 grams in the last month, so about 0.5%. But it's still losing its weight. Sure, it's still developing flavor. Stick it back in there. And the last and smallest piece from that particular belly. And this one's lost 14 grams in the last month or so, which is roughly 1%. You know, 25%. I'm pretty good with that on a pancetta. But honestly, I have some pancetta still, and I think I'm going to leave it in. See if it'll lose more weight. I'm sure it'll just develop more flavor. Time is flavor with this stuff. And one more pancetta in there. This one's from the other pig that I got last year. And this one's also been drying for just about 10 months now. It too lost more weight again, so it's now at 27% moisture loss. And again, you know, this could be pulled, but I have pancetta. I'm going to see if I can get it to 30%. Sure, it will just continue to get flavor. I'm positive it won't be dry or anything, so we'll give it some more time. Here's the Fiocco prosciutto, which is from the smaller muscle. When you bone out a ham, you get a big muscle, a small muscle. And this also is from the big black red wattle cross, the black pig in this picture. So I have to weigh a little differently because it has this layer that's called a sunya layer, which is lard and rice flour mixed. We're continuing to lose weight, so that's good. I'm going to take its current weight and I'm going to subtract the weight of sunya I added. So that's its current weight of the meat without sunya. Then I'm going to divide that by the starting weight, -1. This is we're at 37% moisture loss, which is pretty good for your Fiocco. This has been drying for 8 months. And yeah, I'm ready to pull that. And what I'll do, well, I'll show you. I'll show you when I'm done weighing. This is the Culatella prosciutto from that same animal. Big black red wattle mix. Got to do the same thing because it has that sunya layer also. Going to take its current weight. Going to subtract the weight of the sunya that I added. Going to divide that by the starting weight, -1. This is at 34%. Could be pulled, but I'm going to leave it, let it keep developing more and more flavor. I think I'm going to try to take these to 40%. You know, this keeps losing a pretty good amount of weight. This has lost 67 grams in the last month and a week, so it's losing weight. I'm going to let it keep developing flavor. Nothing wrong with that. Well, I got another Culatella prosciutto. This is from the brown pig. This one also lost a bit of weight. It's at 35.5%. Okay, time to pull it, but I'm going to let it keep going. It's still losing a pretty decent amount of weight every month. They're losing weight still. I'll keep letting them dry. Now here is the last thing to weigh. Definitely a little concerned about this one. The whole leg prosciutto. I did not butcher it correctly, so I'm a little nervous about what I may find in here. But you know, I accept that. Maybe a loss. We'll see. Have to chalk it up to a learning experience if that happens. All right, we lost 24 grams in the last month, so it's very slow to lose weight. But we'll do the same thing. Take the current weight, subtract the sunya layer weight. That's the weight of the meat, which I'll divide by the starting weight, -1. 29%, 29.1. We're getting pretty close to where I want to be with this. So that's the starting weight when I started drying it after taking it out of its salt bath. It's at 29.1%. However, if I take the current weight minus the sunya layer weight, and I divide that by the weight it was when I put it in to the salt bath originally, or the salt box, we see that we have lost 38%. So it's getting close. I'm trying to take it to about 40% of its original weight or 30% of the weight when I put it into my cabinet. This has been going for 23 months now. So anyway, that's all the weighing. Had a few people ask me about my cabinet, so I'll show you what I have in here. I have a commercial refrigerator. Took out the original fan and put a computer fan in here, which is much smaller than the main one. And it's hardwired so it doesn't stop when the refrigerator stops. I have it blowing straight down. I tried it facing backwards, but it just blows all the way to the back. It still has just as strong of a breeze. So really I just keep it turned down a little with the speed controller. So besides that, you'll see I have some wires coming through the back here, and they're plugged in to a dehumidifier and a humidifier. So I will say with the humidifier, you want to make sure you have a positive switch that's a positive on off, because some of the digital ones won't turn back on once they turn off. They'll need reset. those won't work. You need one that can go on and off as the controller turns it on and off. And now my dehumidifier, I have the 2200 size. I went through several of the 1500 sizes, and this one here is a Pro Breeze, but really all the different brands look exactly the same, like they came out of the exact same factory in China probably. And 1500s didn't work very well for me, so I have this 2200, and it's been in here for, gosh, over a year it's worked. This 1500s only worked for a few months before they stopped working, so that's no good. And then I have these are the probes. That's the humidity probe. Here's the temperature probe. And like I said, they go through that hole. The back side, I just have a rag plugging that. Don't want to seal it permanently with foam because sometimes I have to take these cords out and wash stuff. And then what I have here, these are Inkbird controllers. This is my humidity controller. And this is my temperature controller. Keep this set for 55. It's a little warm because I had the door open. And I keep this set to 80. This does vary because this refrigerator dries stuff out pretty quick. It's going down and it's going back up over, but it averages 80. And I know that because I have this hygrometer, which actually connects to my phone through Bluetooth, and it shows me the average, the daily average, weekly average, monthly average, whatever I look at. And yeah, I try to keep this 55 degrees and 80% humidity. And the other thing over here, back here, just kind of tucked away, is this is my fan speed controller. So you see I got it set about 50%. So it gets a little too breezy when it's up, but about 50% seems to work great. And that's pretty much how I have this thing set up. The wine coolers work great. They're a little smaller, but that's probably more suitable for most people. Basements work great for a lot of people, as long as it's a consistent temperature and not moldy. Now this is my original cabinet. I used Kenmore refrigerator, nothing fancy. But, you know, it's a refrigerator that used to have the freezer unit. So what I did is I just took out this middle, which is where the guts were. So these were up here on the bottom of the fridge. Just stuck it over there. Here, I have a computer fan, same deal, except it's blowing that way. Instead of blowing into my cabinet, it's blowing that way. So it goes through the channels, because there's a foam piece in there with little channels that basically comes out through these vents. So it distributes it maybe a little more evenly. And actually this refrigerator worked really well. And I have the same thing where I have extension cords, you know, to plug my humidifier and dehumidifier into. And they also come through a hole. And I'm not sure if we can see back here. Oh, not that great, huh? It's kind of dark back there. Anyway, same thing. I just have a hole and controllers. Controllers are up here. And I'll probably try to get this one going again because I really like the way it works. It was just a little small for putting a whole pig into. So anyway, that's pretty much how I built this. A one-piece freezer would work good too, as long as the Freon coolant doesn't run through the shelves like some upside freezers. But yeah, that's pretty much the deal. Also, a basement works really well, as long as it's consistent between 50 and 60 degrees or so. And you know, you want humidity. If it dries too fast, your charcuterie is going to dry too fast. You'll get dry ring, or in worst case, you'll get a case hardening, where the outside dries so much that the inside just rots. So you do want to have it humid enough that it dries slowly. And you know, some basements do have mold problems, so you don't want a moldy basement. But if you have a cool basement that you can keep humid without having it be moldy, that will work great. Or if you're one of the lucky people that has access to a cave, I believe that's how they did this in the beginning, before people had basements or refrigerators. You just got to protect your stuff from the critters. That's the drying cabinet. So, any questions, leave them in the comments. Happy to answer what I can. Let's go check out that Fiocco. See, a lot of people take the collagen sheet off and then put the sunya on, which I've done, but then it's really hard to get that sunya off the meat itself. So what I've been doing, and it's been working pretty well for me, is I wash it off, make sure the Fiocco is nice and clean, that I've washed any mold off with vinegar, and then I put the sunya on the outside of the collagen sheet, which also puts it on the outside of this netting. A lot of it's going to come off with the netting. All right, clean that up real quick. Be right back. Next thing I'm going to do is just try to get under this collagen sheet a little bit. And you see as I take it off, see, look at the color that's inside of there. And there's none of that sunya to really have to contend with, because that sunya is very hard to get off the outer bit of this prosciutto. But look at that, nice and clean. Smelling really nice. Tiny little bit of the white mold worked its way through, so I'll wash that off with some vinegar real quick. Actually using a little bit of red wine because I ran out of vinegar. Vinegar, wine, either will work. They're both acidic, they'll kill the mold. That's looking pretty nice to me. Now what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to put it in a vacuum sealed bag, and I'm going to let this mature further, otherwise known as equalizing. And then I'll let this equalize in the refrigerator in this vacuum sealed bag, and it will just continue to get more flavor. Now I leave a window, so I like to let it equalize for at least half the amount of time it took to dry, but preferably the whole amount of time it took for it to dry. So I'm going to let this equalize for anywhere between 4.5 months to 9 months. You could eat it right now, but equalizing is just going to enhance the flavor and the texture. So stick this away in the fridge for a good long while. If you got anything out of this video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Give me a big thumbs up. Put some love into your food. Peace.